Hey everyone, Anthony Fantano here, internet's busiest music nerd, here in the fantastic luxury parking lot in the back of Red Scroll Records in Wallingford, Connecticut. Here on April 19th, we're going to be having a record store day event. Plenty of the records that you already see in this store on a regular basis, along with other new things, are going to be on sale, but most importantly, there will be exclusive record store day vinyl that will only be available for this specific event. And right now we're going to be giving you a walkthrough in terms of what kinds of records are going to be where inside of the store, along with Rick here, who's manning the camera. And to let you know right now, right off the bat, this is the exit, this is the back of Red Scroll Records, but on Record Store Day, it's going to be the entry. And the front door, which many of you usually go inside of, will be the exit. So everything flips around on Record Store Day. But on Record Store Day, this area that I am standing in right now will not look totally like this. There will actually be a giant tent here where there will be old records, used records, all of which will be slashed in terms of prices, and then we'll be entering deeper into here, and there will be refreshments out here, right, Rick? Or that will be in the front. Rick is giving me a thumbs up. He says there will be refreshments out here. And don't you guys get those really good Oreos usually? You get the good, like, chocolate-covered Oreos? Like, okay, he gets them, and they're going to be here, too. I look forward to those every year. So starting in here, you can respond. It's cool. Starting in here, we have older rock and pop, correct? Starting on this side, all right? And over here, we've got some jazz. We've got country and folk over here. Again, these records are used. These records are going to be slashed in terms of price. Those sales are actually going to start earlier in the week because every year Red Scroll Records simultaneously celebrates their anniversary the week of Record Store Day because they did start in April. So continuing, the rock and pop music, used on this side as well. We have more used records, but these are the latest in terms of the used arrivals and records that sort of the store wants to highlight that are new, that they think will sell faster, that may be of interest to you. So continuing through here, more rock and pop, but this stuff is new. These are the new LPs. Continue on these continue on these racks, and as usual, these are in alphabetical order. If you have been in the store before, you know they're in alphabetical order. We have newer records as well that are highlighted. Oh, hey, these are pretty good. Yeah, these are good new arrivals that we really want you to check out. These are like super duper store picks. Whoa, cool. All the way from A down to Z on this side. Okay? You probably are familiar with the front desk if you've been over here as well. This is where you'll be purchasing all the things that you decide to buy when you come down here. That does not change on Record Store Day. This counter will be the same counter. Except this will be changing over here. You might recognize this as kind of being like the listening station area, but there will be a lot of the Record Store Day records up sort of on display over here for all to see. So when you come through the door, over there, in the back, you're going to rush right over here into this direction to be like, bam, got my Record Store Day record. Woo! All right, so that stuff is going to be there. The 10 inches that we typically have over here may move slightly to the right to accommodate more Record Store Day items. And additionally, there may be some more stacked over here on the floor where typically we have these cool things. Well, I mean, these are actually more new arrivals that still need to be racked, but there will be more Record Store Day stuff under here as well. Above that, as usual, new CDs. We have older metal records over here. Further to the right, and this is if any of this stuff interests you, because you should come here and get Record Store Day stuff and other stuff as well, because there's some bitchin' underground rock records over here, further to the right. And this over here is an arcade machine that I haven't seen yet. Rick should have told me that was here. I would come over and hang out more often if that were the case. There were more cool arcade machines here. Over here, like usual, we're going to have dance electronic music, other alternative forms of electronic music, newer electronic music, organized by label, still organizing by label over here. So, Warp, Monkey Town, Hot Flush, Hyperdub, Ninja Tune, and then we have the hip-hop section over here. Again, these are not changing in terms of position, but Rick has told me that there may be new shelving in here by the time that Record Store Day actually happens. If you guys haven't noticed, there's tons of new shelving out there in that room since the last Record Store Day, correct? So, hip-hop records still over here, new dance, alternative electronic music still over here, and over here we have the extreme metal stuff, and further to the right, as I noted with Rick earlier and mentioned, the Weird Beard section has really kind of grown leaps and bounds. I mean, it was just like a little tiny shelf at one point, and now it's like 4 racks of avant-garde experimental noise music and other various experimental styles of music. And up here, you know, of course, we have the kind of featured albums from these experimental and metal genres. And down here, I didn't note this earlier, we have soundtracks, used soundtracks, comedy down there, used hip-hop down there as well. So if you are looking for some older hip-hop records or hip-hop kind of at a lower price, or some records that you may be familiar with that you've been looking to pick up, they might be down here in the used hip-hop section. More electronic music down here, looks like new arrivals. You have tapes. And finally, one more thing to note, in this newer shelving that I just mentioned a minute ago, we have used records, but kind of featured. Like, oh, these are really cool used records, or we think these used records will be very much to our customers' interest. So these are kind of like used highlights that they have over here. Accessories under here, record accessories that we have underneath this stuff. We have slip mat here for your vinyl, turntable. And over here, still, new CDs will continue to be here. Like I said earlier, the only major change in terms of where things are is just going to be where they put the Record Store Day stuff. And on the other side of this used records highlight shelf, we have new records highlight. So, as you guys usually remember, over here on this wall, we've always got new stuff, but over here as well, we've been putting new stuff that is worth checking out as well, you know, before it just sort of makes it into the regular shelving over here. Cool new stuff, also cool new stuff. So, you know, essentially you've got 2 areas where you could be looking for records that have just arrived. And this is where you're also putting new stuff still, right? Still got new stuff down here. If you come into Red Scroll Records, you know new stuff typically makes it into these racks down here as well, up here, over here. So if you're coming through the door specifically looking for brand new stuff, this, that, and down here is where your face will go first. Alright, so that is essentially where everything should be. Ah! Rick's hand is telling me something. Listen, I typically neglect this when I come in because I'm getting old and my knees just aren't what they used to be. When I was 16, I was like always down on my knees looking at records. But Red Scroll has put their 7 inches and 45s down here. But you know, if you're of the younger set and you don't mind squatting for a while, you know, you can come down here and just look at what they have for used and new 7 inches as well. Cool. But if it is a Record Store Day 7-inch, it will be sort of on display in the usual Record Store Day area. All right. And I just noticed this. We have new 7 inches over here as well. Nice touch. Nice touch over there. Putting the new featured 7 inches up there. See, I don't even have to bend over for this. Ah, Cold Cave. Ah, 7 Days of Funk with Snoop Dogg and Dame Funk. So there you go. That's essentially where everything should be for Record Store Day. Oh, needle drop shirt over there. In case you want one of those. That's an old shirt. There's no more of those. So if you want that design, this is like the only place in existence where you can get that design anymore. So there's like a handful of them left. All right. So that's the whole store. So I'm going to be here for Record Store Day. I have a few Record Store Day picks that I'm going to be looking for. And, I mean, I'm going to be in and out trying to get them, but if I see you, I'll say hi. You could say hi. And, you know, I know you're not here for me. You're here for the records anyway. So, and I just showed you where all those are. So, all right. Anthony Fantano, Red Scroll Records, Record Store Day, Red Scroll Records walkthrough, forever.